suppose I should really mention something or other about the dev blog things that we've been seeing. I have already given my opinion on the vehicles as they've been appearing, but I've been doing it during Steam streams, so I'm going to do a bit of a kind of roundup, a Roger roundup of what we've seen. Right, so we've got the Type 90 for the Japanese. One thing I will say about this straight away is that they have said it's a prototype. It doesn't say that in the initial body text, but as far as I'm aware, it's the prototype. And because of that, Gaijin will be able to give whatever ARM values they want to it in order to make it balanced. You can't see it there, but yeah, there's inverted commas around the balanced part. Secondly, we've had the Corsair, the F4U-7, the French Corsair, and that is going to get a crap ton of rockets, which may or may not prove to be a big threat or major threat for tanks. Now, what else we had? I'm going to leave the BV for the moment because that's going to tie in with something else that's coming. And we'll go straight on to the Curtis P40F. This is a Warhawk, or a variant of it, and yeah, it's going to be low tier. That's going to be probably like 2.7 BR. So again, not really anything to shout about. Okay, next was the Centurion AVRE announcement. This is a tier 5 premium for the British, which is coming in the next patch. I won't be buying this for a few reasons. One is it's only got one type of ammunition really that's effective against tanks, and that's HESH. HESH at the moment is random, completely random, therefore not necessarily what I would call the most effective round versus armoured vehicles. So yeah, that puts me off straight away. That is, to be honest, that alone is more than enough reason for me to say no, I don't want it. Anyway, additional to that, we have era blocks on the side apparently with this vehicle, but we don't have era blocks on the turret. At least from what we can tell. There appear to be small spaced armour sections which won't behave in the same way as era. It also does have a bulldozer blade on the front, which is something else that should be available for pretty much any vehicle that could mount it. As far as the vehicle goes itself, it's a Centurion, so it's not very quick. Maximum speed of about 21 miles an hour. And likewise, not very quick in reverse. The armour isn't bad, but it's not amazing. And the gun itself is a 165mm demolition gun. This basically means that I'm guessing it's going to have a longish fire rate, because there's no autoloader in there. Sorry, a longish reload rate. As I said, there's no autoloader in there. And effectively speaking, you've only got one round of ammunition that's effective against tanks. This, in my mind, makes it not worth getting, not by a long shot in comparison to what else we're getting with this next patch apparently. And that's the XM1C and the XM1GM, the prototypes for the Abrams. One is the Chrysler version and the other is the General Motors version. Right, so the General Motors version will be available to PC and PS4 users, and the Chrysler version will be available to the Xbox One version, which is also coming to War Thunder. This is a kind of mixed news message in theory, in that, yeah, it's good that we're going to be getting Xbox One players, but it's also bad that we're going to be getting Xbox One players. In my mind, it's going to slow down development, but at the same time, it should hopefully add some leverage towards Sony in order to make the patches go a little bit quicker. Then again, with the addition of the Xbox, it also means that we're also going to have longer development times, because they're developing it for 3 platforms, actually 5, including Linux and Mac, not just 4. Either way, yeah. As far as the vehicles go themselves, from what I can tell, the Chrysler version is the weaker of the two, for the simple reason that its turret armor is actually worse than the other one. Probably not by much, but it may make all the difference. Okay, let's go into the next one. Okay, next up is the Chieftain Marksman. This is a radar-guided SPAA for the British. I assume that will come after the Falcon that we currently have in game. Much needed, I should say, especially considering that Britain hasn't had a radar AA at all in game since the addition of the radar. Next one after this, or after the Chieftain Marksman, is the R81 Darcy. This is a Romanian aircraft that Gaijin have decided to throw into the Italian territory, and have also stated that any future vehicles that are done for Romania and any other Axis nation other than Germany will go into the Italian territory, because Italy doesn't have enough stuff and Germany have got plenty of stuff. Yeah, it doesn't really make that much sense because we've already got Romanian stuff in the German territory, albeit it just being slight modifications or skin variants of aircraft that the Germans already got. Alright, and then we come on to the vehicles that we've had shown today. I'll go through the Kawasaki K32 first, which is a Japanese mid-1930s bomber, so no guesses where this is going to end up as far as battle ratings go. Yeah, I'd expect this to be like 1.0, 1.3, maybe 1.7 if it's really particularly unlucky. It has one turret. Don't believe what the website says. It says it has 2 turrets. It doesn't. It has 1, but it has 2 machine guns in that turret. It has no other defensive armament or forward-firing machine guns as far as I'm aware, and it can just carry bombs alongside the turret. So in theory, it's not going to be really good at all. It's going to be worse than even the D3A1, I believe, that's already in the Japanese territory. So, the other additional announcements that have been made are with regards to the T64BV and the Megash 3, which are both getting error blocks added in with this patch. But, and this is a big but, Gaijin have stated that they aren't going to change the BR for the vehicles unless stats show that they've been improved, which is comical because adding the error blocks is an improvement. And the Megash is at 7.7 battle rating, which I think makes it the lowest BR vehicle that will have error blocks in game until, well, unless the Centurion AVRE has a lower battle rating in comparison to it. And this goes for both the T64B and the Megash 3. The Megash is at 7.7, like I say, and the T64B is at currently 9.3 BR. True enough, as far as the actual error blocks go, they aren't really going to make that much difference because they are only really effective against heat rounds and shape charge warheads, similar to those fired by 80 gems and Heat FS, or just Heat in general. So, yeah, not really much fires those kind of weapons or uses those weapons at the top tier. Like, for example, the Abrams won't rely on a heat round. The Leopard 2K does rely on a heat round initially, but gets an APFS DS round later, which means that it can just, you know, cut through armor like butter. Not that the heat doesn't do that anyway. But would this error block thing make that much of a difference? Personally, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, but we are going to have to wait and see, as per usual. Now then, what else have we got that's that I missed out on? One last thing, and that's the Italian map. The Italian map, from what I can tell, is a atypical Gaijin urban clusterfuck. in that you've got a massive urban area in the middle of the map, which is probably going to house all 3 cap points. And then on either side of the map, east and west, you've got open terrain, which is probably going to be areas where the enemy or teams are going to spawn in and move into the middle. As far as this goes, and any difference between previous maps or anything like that goes, yeah, there's not really that much difference. You could basically just look at some of the other maps that have done, and you will see very similar design, kind of like how to phrase it. It's very, yeah, design ethics, I suppose, if you want to call it that, or design styles, in that it's really not taking any chances, and it's a small map from what I can tell, probably no more than 2,000 meters across, and it also appears to be horribly balanced as well, with the east side having a line of hills just in front of their spawn, which is high enough to shoot over the intervening urban environment in the middle and shoot at the enemy spawn in the west. Classic Gaijin design. Anyway, that's pretty much the roundup done for everything we've got, or at least everything that's been announced so far for the patch. One other bit of information I could state is that they have confirmed that they should be getting the Leopard 2A1 for the Germans. I know people are going apeshit about that in the comments section, asking why no Leopard 2. Gaijin are just being Gaijin and trolling the community, I guess, but apparently that should be coming in with the next patch, along with something else for the Russians. Whether or not they do get what they've kind of leaked, which is a T80, is a different matter, and we're going to have to wait and see. As far as the XM1 goes, both variants, they are just basically well, they are premium vehicles for starters, so in order to actually own them, you're going to have to spend a minimum of $50 to get them, or €49, $49.99 even. And yeah, I'd expect them to be fairly broken. We honestly have no information on these at the moment, no stat cards or anything like that. Gaijin haven't released any detailed information with regards to these vehicles, other than that they're supposedly going to have composite armor, and that they're tier 5 as well. Now, as far as tier 5 goes, I believe in the game currently it's around about let me think, 8.0 bat rating, which is the cutoff point for rank 5. Yeah, pretty much. Well, I say that, but you've got rank 6 and 7.3 there because reasons. But roughly the average for the cutoff between rank 4 and rank 5 is 8.0 bat rating. So that basically means the XM1 I'd expect to be as low as 8.0. If it's higher than that, then that's rank 6 bat rating. It should be in rank 6. It should actually, they should be at rank 6 vehicles, if I'm completely honest, because of their capabilities. Bearing in mind that they are the prototype for this vehicle, which is at 9.7 bat rating. However, this is War Thunder, so Logic has already left for a long vacation, and probably won't ever come back. And because of that, I can probably say that we're going to see the XM1 at around 8.0 bat rating, maybe even less, because reasons, comrades.